Hello, everyone. This is me, Josh, and welcome to the fifth episode of Creating Your End-to-End Crypto Forecaster. In this episode, we will configure our Docker Compose file para madagdag natin doon ang isang service, which is gonna be for MinIO. All right. So if you're not familiar with MinIO, so think of it as a file storage system. So, ganun yung purpose talaga ng MinIO. So, if you want to download files, you can download files from MinIO, and even you can upload files to MinIO. So, parang there is some kind of file exchange system behind in MinIO. So, if you're familiar with Amazon S3, Azure Blob Storage, and even Google Cloud Storage, ganun yung purpose ni MinIO. So, pwede tayo mag-upload ng kahit anong files, CSV files, images, text files, there. So, ganun yung magiging purpose natin. So, in this episode, gagawin natin is to configure and adjust our Docker Compose file para madagdag natin si MinIO. Alright. So, ngayon, let's try looking at how we can establish or configure MinIO. Alright. So, let's simply go to resources. Or para mas madali, Google na natin si MinIO for Docker. Ayan. Ito. Okay, ito. Sige. Ayan. So, we have this documentation for MinIO on how to configure MinIO via Docker. So, pwede kayo mag-scroll down sa baba at may makikita kayo ditong prerequisites, either Podman or Docker. So, by the way, Podman, it's another container services that we can use. Yeah. So, let's try using Docker. Ayan. Kasi ito naman ginamit natin. So, in Docker, we have these commands, right? So, ito yung command na gagamitin ko kay Docker to run MinIO. Then again, we can convert this um, to Docker Compose kasi naka-Docker Compose naman tayo, right? So, let's try this one. Okay. So, okay. Copy ko muna siya. At punta ako dito kay Visual Studio and open ko to. Or sige, dito na lang. Diretso na natin siya dito. And then, dito ko ng konti. At ipapaste ko siya here. There. So, ngayon, we will call this MinIO service. Alright? And the image name, oh, that's nice. Meron tayong suggestion from our Copilot, which is cool. So, sige, gamitin natin siya. Alright? So, image natin is Quay latest. Actually, I just wanna use that na lang para lang maging consistent tayo whenever we are pushing this Docker Compose file to someone else or to our repository. Container name, it's gonna be like that. Alright? And restart always. MinIO, it's gonna be ano ba yung password natin? Root name, change name. Let's have ano pa? MinIO user. Okay, very secure. Ayan. Password. Okay? And then for our volume, so okay na-account na natin yung ating container name. Meron din tayong image dito. For the environment, we have the MinIO root user and the password, root password. For ports, dalawa yung ginagamit nating port. I think the first one is for the actual server and the other one is for the UI. Right? And then, for volumes, as mentioned, gagamit tayo na naka-built-in sa Docker natin. So, let's call this Crypto Forecaster MinIO. Yan. So, it's just gonna be the same as this one naman. So, let's take this one out. Alright? And the command, it is going to be the command para mapatakbo natin yung MinIO interface natin. So we can get rid of this now. All right. Don't forget to add our container below the containers, the volumes section. Yan. Para ma-create natin yung ating volume. Okay. So I think this looks good. And from the last episode, I think I made a mistake on the container name. I want this to be PostgreDB. Tapos let's just call this just to be more consistent, Crypto Forecaster DB. And let's do it. Kasi magkakaroon siya ng ano. So, sige. Sige, PostgreDB na lang. Para hindi na siya demo. Alright? So, same goes here. tgadmin. And then, min.io. Alright? Yeah. Ito pala. Good. So, let me also look at our available containers here. I-delete ko lang din sila. And for volumes, delete ko na lang din. I just wanna restart na lang everything kasi I made a mistake on the previous episode. Mas gusto ko lang i-standardize yung pangalan. Alright? Nothing big naman. Alright. So now we have already added min.io service on our Docker Compose file. And if I run Docker Compose up -d, let's see if it's gonna work. Alright. So, pareha sila tumatakbo, which is what we want to happen. Alright? Okay, cool. So, paano ngayon natin mapupuntahan si min.io? Alright? Let's go back to our browser and open localhost 9001 or maybe 9000. Okay, 9001. Alright? So, mag-login tayo here and we will use our very secure username and password. Yan. There you go. And allow me to explain some of these components. Alright? Kasi ito yung gagamitin natin for our project. So if you have been using any form of file system services or file transfer protocols or something, like S3 buckets, may S3 buckets in AWS, tapos meron ding a blob storage for Azure. So if you're using those kinds of solutions for file exchange, file transfer, file download and upload, ganito rin yung magiging approach natin kay min.io. So it's just running on our local machine. So, and it's open source. Kaya mas bet ko siyang gamitin for now. Para hindi naman tayo gumastos na dun sa mga cloud storage solutions natin. And it's actually good for us to just practice without being fearful of potential charges kapag gumamit tayo ng cloud solutions. Alright? So let's just go with the concepts muna. So here is our min.io web server. Alright? And i-go through lang natin yung mga options dito. So, Object Browser gives us the list of all the objects and the files that we have uploaded to min.io. So, ngayon, wala pa tayong laman dito. But later on, subukan natin yung lagyan ng laman and we'll test what's gonna happen if we do that. Alright? And then here are our access keys. So sa access keys naman, ito yung gagamitin natin para makalogin tayo sa min.io natin. So we will do this programmatically na mag-upload tayo ng file at mag-i-import at mag-download tayo ng file. So ganun. So later natin yung gagawin. But on this episode, papakita ko sa inyo kung paano siya gawin manually. Right? And if you want to go to documentation, feel free to look at the documentation here. Ayan. It's very detailed naman, so feel free to read through. And then we also have buckets. So similar with S3 buckets, so gumagawa tayo ng bucket para maging quote-unquote folder natin on where we can store all of our files for a particular project. So let's try creating our bucket muna. So create our bucket. It's very simple. Just add our bucket name. So crypto models or forecaster models. Yeah. And there are some other options here. So we have versioning. So we can read through what we have here. So medyo dark siya. Ayan. But for now, I want to have all the basic or the default configuration. All right. So let's create our bucket. Ayan. So we already have this bucket. And if we open that, these are the bucket information or details. If I go back here on the object browser, makikita ko na yung bucket na yun. And I can access that and see all available files here, right? In this case, wala pa namang available na files. So let's try uploading some files. So upload file. All right. So may mga subukan natin i-upload yung isa sa mga aking episode. Itong recording na to, kunwari lang. There you go. So, na-upload na natin siya, right? Okay, cool. So, na-upload na natin siya here. So, there. Every time that we are accessing this bucket, I can see this particular video na na-upload ko lang kanina. And that was actually fast. And maybe that's fine kasi locally lang naman siya tumatakbo kasi wala naman siyang exchange to a cloud solution or whatnot. So yeah, I'm expecting that to be fast naman. Um, there. And now let's go to our access key. So this access keys allows us to programmatically upload files and even download files um, from MinIO. Alright? Ito yung gagamitin natin sa modeling portion ng series na to. So here, I can simply create an access key. I just keep this as is. Default na lang yan. And we also have our secret key here. You can view that secret key, that's fine. And hide that. So everything looks good naman na. And just add some basic information dito. So let's add something here. Crypto forecaster um, access key. Something. Alright? And if I click on create button, ayan. So magkakaroon ako ngayon dito na um, warning. Right? Na-create na yung access key natin and you are seeing the access key and the secret key here. So you have two options. So either you copy the values or download the JSON file, I guess. The JSON file para ma-save your credentials, because if you don't do that, you will no longer see these codes. Alright? So ngayon, in our case, I just want to copy them na lang one by one. Alright? So here in our project directory, gagawa tayo ng .environment file. Alright? So ika-copy ko si MinIO access key. And that's the value. Tapos, kakopy ko rin si MinIO secret key. Alright. So, what's the best practice if you are asking me, right? Is it safe to use .env files? For the sake of learning purposes, feel free to use it. Okay lang yan. But if you are using it in production, be careful. Actually, kahit learning purposes pa lang, be careful na kasi baka mamaya you're actually adding um, keys and secret keys na talagang galing sa account nyo. Baka mamaya ma-floodan kayo doon um, ng mga requests, right? Or madidos kayo kung sakasakali. But there, uh, As a general rule, if you're using .env files, make sure na hindi mo siya pinupush sa repository mo. So one thing that you can do there is, if you're using GitHub, uh, wala pa palang repository dito. So init, yan, yan, meron ng repository. If you're using GitHub, so you can create .gitignore file, tapos lagay mo lang yung .env file mo dyan, para safe ka na every time that you are pushing to your repository, hindi siya kasama. Alright? What others are doing is that they are creating .env.sample, tapos kakopy nila to and i-replace nito ng placeholder lang. So, add your access key. Your secret key naman dito. Yan. This way, they would know kung anong structure ng environment files mo. So, gagawin na lang nila is they can simply copy this and tatanggalin yung hyphen sample para makuha pa rin nila yung values from that environment files. Okay? So, there. That's one way to do it. To get around that. Alright? The other one is meron namang mga parang environment variables storage. So in Windows, kunwari, meron ka ditong environment variables na pwede mong gamitan na naka-register siya sa mismong device. Alright? Of course, that is if you are running your servers or your applications by Windows. For um, for Linux naman, there's also such concept. Um, export na the environment variables, yung export commands. So, nakakapag-create sila ng, or nakakapag-create tayo ng environment variables kay Linux. So, via the export command. So, there are other ways that you can think about. But for now, let's make use of .env file muna. Alright. Okay, cool. So don't you worry guys, after this video, I will replace this access key para hindi na siya magamit din. Although it should be safe since I'm running this locally lang naman. But as general rule, we don't really expose these kinds of details online and in our project files. Okay. So that's basically MinIO. So again, it's just a very simple file exchange solution, or it's our way for us to store files and upload files and download files na gagamitin natin mamaya sa modeling part. So dito tayo mag-dump ng ating mga machine learning models. So in this case, let me just delete this na lang. I won't be needing it. Alright? So yung mga operations na ginawa ko kanina, like the upload and the deletion of files and the download part, gagawin natin siya in the succeeding episodes when we are now creating machine learning models and uploading updated models to MinIO. So that's it for this episode, and in the next episode, we will do one more configuration para naman sa Airflow. So see you in the next episode.